Hi, Alan Schimmel, DevOps.com here at day 2 of Jenkins World. And I'm actually happy to be joined by one of my business partners, Jayne Groll of DevOps Institute. Jayne, welcome.
Thanks, Alan.
It's a pleasure to have you on DevOps TV at DevOps.com. So Jayne, it's day 2 of Jenkins World. It's been a busy 2 days.
Absolutely.
Why don't you give our audience a little bit of what your personal highlights have been so far?
So I think that looking at the Jenkins community as part of the DevOps community, Alan, I think that we're really starting to see a passion for the platform, but I also think with the introduction of DevOps Express and the commitment among many of the vendors in this space to collaborate and try to create reference architectures, that was really very, very exciting. We were very excited at DOI, DevOps Institute, to be able to be a part of that. So I think there's a momentum that's building in this type of a conference that hopefully we'll see as we start to move forward.
I hope so too, Jayne. I think one of the things that I find really interesting about it is just the growth trajectory of conferences like these, right? I mean, we happen to be out in the Silicon Valley area this week, but what I found kind of amazing is though we had almost 1,500 people here, from what I understand, the day before they had a full house for a PagerDuty user conference, and then yesterday was also a Git user conference, which is also, you know, and yeah, we're in Silicon Valley, so there's a lot of people, but all these people aren't from Silicon Valley. They're coming here for these conferences, and I think that speaks to the growth of the community, but it also at the same time speaks to the need for emerging practices to sort of be coming together. It speaks for the need of a DevOps Express organization to start putting all of these pieces of the puzzle together. What do you think DevOps Institute's role is there?
So that's a great question. I think that when we start to look at this massive amount of information about DevOps and we start to really look at all of the tooling capabilities, the enterprise is looking for maybe a little bit more prescription, maybe certainly a lot more training, a lot more understanding of what the emerging practices are. Conferences like these, they're looking to connect with other people that are in the same place as they are. I was at a presentation yesterday, Alan, and the presenter said that 55% of the Agile community actually recognizes that DevOps is critical to their success, but 80% have limited knowledge of DevOps. So for the DevOps Institute, I think we play an important role in helping to collect this massive amount of information and really capture it into training and create some role-based certifications and bring some sense of logic to the learning community, because at all of these conferences, that's why people are coming. They're coming to learn. And I think we can play a very important role as setting industry standards in terms of what does learning look like and how do you kind of sift through the collective body of knowledge. And we're very supportive of a collective body of knowledge.
Yes.
So we're very supportive of the fact that we don't think there should be a single body of knowledge, but it's conferences like these and the ones that you reference that start to really demonstrate that this is a learning community. And that's what DevOps Institute really strives to be.
Excellent. So Jayne, what do you think the next steps are for the DevOps Express group?
That's, again, another great question. I think they have some challenges ahead of them. I think that if you look at DevOps beyond any other initiative within IT, interoperability is critical here. So when we look at standalone platforms of the past and we look at suites of the past, maybe interoperability wasn't as critical. DevOps Express is a commitment among the major vendors to ensure not only interoperability, but to provide enterprises with sample reference architectures that say, here, you've got 50, 60, 70% of the way there. We can give you models to do that. And so if DevOps Express is to succeed, these 14 members have to start working together to create those models. Then DevOps Institute can embed that information into the training and start to create more of those roles. Right, exactly. Almost curate it into some type of a logic for the training market.
Excellent. Jayne, any other thoughts around Jenkins World in particular?
Yeah, I mean, it's been really interesting, as you said, seeing who the attendees are, kind of listening to what their interests are. Some people became certified. The other thing I thought was really interesting, Alan, is the day before the official start of Jenkins World, they did a bunch of workshops.
Yes.
And they were very, very well attended. I think somebody mentioned 600 people
Yep.
came for training. And of course, CloudBees has been offering Jenkins certification exams at no cost
Yeah.
during this event. And people have been walking around with
They're
buttons.
certified. The I'm
So
certified
they're very
buds.
proud of their certifications, and certainly there's a lot of interest.
You don't
in
see
it.
that a lot in DevOps, or you didn't used to see that a lot
Exactly,
in DevOps.
where they're not hiding the fact they're certified,
Right.
but they're really proud of that. So
And they and as well they should be, frankly, right? As
Absolutely.
well they should be. So Jayne, before we go, just one last thing. I happen to know that you've been chosen to speak at Gene Kim's upcoming
I have.
DevOps Enterprise Summit. Why don't you give our audience a little preview of what you'll be talking about?
Absolutely. So I speak mostly on culture. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's discussed a lot in the DevOps space, but really understanding how humans adapt to change and how there should be a continuous people pipeline that underpins the continuous delivery pipelines as well. So I'm going to speak on a couple of topics, specifically about engaging people on a continuous level, but also given my ITSM background, I'm also going to teach conversational ITSM for DevOps, so that the leaders in DevOps and those that are involved in the programs know how to engage and start to build trust among the change managers and the release managers and the incident managers and others. So I'm really going to speak about how do we get people connected and together in the DevOps space. I'm very, very excited about the opportunity.
That sounds right up your alley.
It is. It
Fantastic.
is.
Well, Jayne, thanks for joining us here at Jenkins World on DevOps TV.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And we look forward to hearing more about the DevOps Institute, about your continuing speaking at the DevOps Enterprise Summit and other events, as well as our own DevOps Connect CD summits.
Absolutely.
Which you'll be doing quite a number of cities in.
Absolutely. Thanks, Alan.
Okay. Jayne Groll, DevOps Institute, thanks for being our guest. This is Alan Schimmel for DevOps.com.